I'm a hustler, baby.
It's time for Hustle Her podcast. I'm your host, Deshae Keynes. Hustle Her is all about inspiring women through real life experiences that have helped to mold and develop not only me, but my guests into the entrepreneurs and leaders we are today. If you're an enterprising woman determined to succeed and looking for a bit of motivation, a bit of tough love, and some actionable takeaways to be the best you, girl, you are in the right place. My next guest attended Purvis Primary and Work Academy. She holds a Bachelor of Arts degree from Spelman College in philosophy with a minor in economics. She has a law degree from the University of Kent. She was called to the bar of England and Wales as well as Bermuda. She is a philanthropist. She is a proud member of the Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, and she is Bermuda's first female senior magistrate. Please help me welcome the worshipful Maxanne J. Anderson. Welcome. Hi, Auntie.
Hello.
She's also my aunt, so we're really excited. I'm really excited to have her here today. How are you doing?
I'm good. A little nervous.
Why are you nervous?
Because I'm shy.
Just a little. All right, so we're going to start with just a few rapid fire questions. Mm-hmm. So you just tell me the first thing that comes to mind and we'll go from there. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So what is your current favorite show?
Oh, I don't know. That's a little hard because.
Okay, tell me more. Tell me any of them, all of them.
So I like comedies. I like things that I don't have to think about, things that are light and make me laugh.
Like what?
So there's on Netflix. To go to sleep, I'll watch Seinfeld.
Okay.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Seinfeld's always safe. Mm-hmm. I don't know, movies, like I love black comedies, like Boomerang, that type of thing. Just anything light. Anything light.
Okay.
Nothing dark, nothing heavy.
Okay.
Yeah, I think on Netflix, there's a show called, is it Kildare Girls? Like I love something like that.
I've never seen Kildare Girls.
Also, it's another English show. I love English comedies. Love English.
I love a good English wit.
Yeah.
Yeah, very witty.
English comedy is
I like
the best. Yeah.
Okay, so tell me your favorite concert.
Oh my goodness. Way back in the day.
Okay.
In Atlanta. The year was probably... Probably
a few years ago. You were just
2001 or 2002. I'm not.
That's not way back in the day.
Sure. It was Mary J. Blige because she's one of my favorite all-time favorite singers. Mary J. Blige. It was Jodeci. It was, I can't even remember everybody now, but it was an awesome concert.
Really?
Yeah, I feel really blessed to have experienced that.
Yeah. Mary J. Blige is back on tour, you know. So
I'm trying to get some tickets.
All right, so tell me a guilty pleasure.
Sweets.
Sweets, okay.
Yeah.
She makes really good sweets, by the way.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that.
I currently still have her cake takeaway container here at my house from some red velvet cake. So,
but I have a little problem. Sometimes I go into treats and the bill ends up being like $50. I'm like, how can you get $50 worth of candies
at treats? That's a lot, Auntie. I'm not gonna lie.
I know. That's why it's a guilty
pleasure. There you go. I did act. Celebrity crush.
Oh my goodness!
I know who you're gonna say. I knew it. Idris Elba.
I'm blushing already. Listen, I tell your uncle, Idris Coles, I'm going. That 26, 27 years of marriage down the drain, I'm going.
That is hilarious.
And I'm serious.
I know. That's what makes it so funny. What's crazy, they look alike a little bit too. Which is kind of gross to say for me because Idris Elba's really handsome.
Your uncle thinks he looks like Idris. Okay? He does not. I mean... You know, your uncle is very handsome, but he's not Idris.
Wow. Okay. So let's move on really quickly. My next rapid fire was your favorite thing to do with your husband on the weekend. What was your favorite thing?
Anything dawn time. We don't get much time to spend together. back in the day when we were first dating and first married, we were in London. So we did everything together. And so any time together is quality time with us. Like we love to travel together. So travel, but if we're not traveling in Bermuda on the weekend, just something as simple as going to Woody's for dinner on a Saturday night, you know, and just sitting outside and seeing everybody. It's something like that is really enjoyable. And that. Probably just because of the quality time together.
That's really nice. And it's low key too, right?
Like low key, you don't have to dress up, you know.
It's good people, good vibes down there at Woody's, so we like that.
Good music.
Right. Exactly. I forgot they have music down there now. Music. And then, okay, and what's on your nightstand right now? If you looked over, what's on your nightstand?
Oh my goodness. What's those gummies called? Goji or something? No, not Goji. Not Goji.
Which one? The apple cider vinegar one?
No, the sleep ones.
Melatonin?
Yes. But no, it's a name brand though.
I don't know.
It's a name brand.
I can't remember.
Oh gosh. Anyway, those gummies, because it's not so easy just to fall asleep sometimes. Yeah. And I need to have a good night's rest to be able to do my job properly the next day. So I have those. I have a very large glass of water. I have a devotional on the side, a lamp, a flashlight in case the lights go out, and my panic button.
Your panic? Everyone's got to have the panic button. All right. So let's jump right in. So tell me about little Maxanne. What was she like? 9, 8 years old, little Maxanne.
At first, I was thinking you were asking about my daughter because everybody says little Maxanne is Maxie, right? No. Me, oh my goodness. I hope I didn't start getting emotional. I just loved my childhood. At that age, I was still living on Cedar Hill. My grandfather was still alive, so most of my time I spent with my grandma and my grandfather. So that's Earl Anderson and Lucy Anderson.
Mama
Lucy. And Papa Earl. Yeah. And I had a lot of family on Cedar Hill. My granny's sister, Aunt Dory, was also up on Cedar Hill with all the Pyramans. That was Dory Pyramid. And then my grandfather's side, the Andersons, they were also up on Cedar Hill because on one side of us was my grandmother's homestead, on the other side was my grandfather's homestead. My grandma was a Powell and my grandfather an Anderson. And so a lot of the siblings were still in the area. So I roamed Cedar Hill as a child, and I loved back in the day how everyone was. Cedar Hill was an extremely safe place for me. I used to roam by myself, Hillview and Cedar Hill.
Really?
And I would hear things like, Anderson, I see you, get him. And I love that.
Yeah.
You know, it takes a village to raise a child. And Cedar Hill was my village. Cedar Hill was my village. And I was very happy because I had my grandparents. They were both still alive. My mom worked, you know, as most single moms. My mom got pregnant with me at 19. And so she needed the help of my grandparents and my aunties. My aunt Judy and my aunt Dawn were very instrumental in my upbringing at that age. And I remember, you know, everybody worked. So it's not like anybody was at home. And so things like sports day or
what
bake
sports
sales.
Did you play?
Oh, I did everything. I thought Auntie, I did. In my mind, I thought I did everything. I thought I was
You were a top athlete?
A world class. But that was because of my grandparents, right? And so like something like sports day. So I'll be in sports day running, whatever. And then I'll look up on the hill at Purvis because, you know, the field's like kind of down low and the school and stuff's on a hill with trees and things. And there would be my grandfather just watching me, you know, and things like that to a child give you a confidence, you know,
for sure.
A love, a support. Confidence, support, right? And my grandmother, when it was bake sale, she'll bake all this stuff. And like, I would wonder why my grandmother's stuff was never at the bake sale. And I was like, I know I bought, you know, pineapple upside down cake, and my granny made this, my granny made that. It was in the not the parent teachers, the
teachers lounge.
The teachers
They were
lounge.
keeping all this stuff.
Because when I went to get the pans and stuff, the teachers were divvying up my granny's pineapple upside down and gingerbread and stuff because they knew.
Yeah,
right?
they wanted to keep it.
Yeah,
that was prime baked goods.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was awesome.
Yeah. So no, that's amazing. So no, but seriously, what did you play? Any sports? Any other sports?
Netball All-Star. Hello.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
Yeah, unfortunately, when I went to university, so first I went university in Canada, and there wasn't any netball team. I went to St. Francis Xavier for 2 years, no netball team there. And then I went to Spelman, no netball team there. And I tried to get involved when I came back summertimes, but so my netball experience was primary school and high school, but I was always picked for East against West in high school. Thank you.
Okay. Not thank you.
Thank you. In my mind, I'm still a netball superstar.
Okay, and we'll just keep it there for now, right there. So
and you know I'm serious because you know sometimes at family events I say that.
I'm not laughing because I know you're serious. So it's definitely something Maxie and I joke about, but we'll leave it at that for now. So when did you know that you wanted to become a lawyer?
Wow, I did not want to become a lawyer.
Really? So what did you want to do?
So at around that same age you asked me about 8, between 8 or 9, I had an experience at Purvis. And this person does not know this. I had one of my good friends had an experience. Of course, I can't give details.
Yeah, that's fine.
But I was angered. And I said at that age that when I grow up, I'm going to be a judge because I'm going to stop people from hurting kids and I'm going to lock up bad people that hurt kids. And so I wanted to be from that age what I thought was a family court judge so that I can protect kids. And so that's what I've always wanted to do is be a family court judge.
Yeah.
That's
actually really amazing because obviously you've been in my life since I was like, 6 or 7. And you were a lawyer at the time and then you were in private practice. And then I remember after that you started to work into government. And then I remember, and I don't know why I just got emotional a little bit, but I remember when you started acting as a magistrate, and Uncle Wayne, he likes to throw a little party. So he threw a party for you, remember?
Any excuse for a party.
And he threw a party for you, and in his speech, he said, when I met Maxanne when we were in law school, she said that she wanted to be a judge. And to see her doing this today, and it wasn't a dry eye in the room, right? And so to see that it started from that young, and this is what you're doing now is amazing.
Yeah, and I truly feel blessed because I believe, for me, it's not a job, it's a calling, right? That's what I was destined to be. Yeah. And, if you believe in God or don't believe in God, God put it on my heart at that age that was my purpose in life. And I believe everybody should have a purpose in life. We shouldn't just be here breathing air, right? We should have a purpose, and it should be to make the world a better place.
Right. So walk me through some of the different things you do as a magistrate, even before you became senior magistrate. Like I know you do different courts. Like what does that entail? Yeah.
Well, it just depends on the day and the court. So it could be the criminal court or plea court, and then maybe a trial at 11 o'clock, and then 2:30 another trial. Or if it's family court, the day is chock-a-block with family court hearings. Or it could be civil court, where you will have a civil trial or ordinary summons or judgment summons, or we have emergency domestic violence protection orders come in. We turn those around in about 24 hours of them, the application coming in, and we give a date and a time, and the person shows up and make sure those are done. It could be anything, warrants from the police.
So, and then you do drug court and mental health court as well, or are those the same?
No.
Okay, 2 different
totally
courts.
different.
Okay.
So it's actually 3 treatment courts we have. So we have the first one was the drug treatment court, which has been going on for some time now. And then next was the mental health treatment court, which is very dear to me. And then the last is the DUI. So driving under the influence treatment court. And hopefully within the next year, you should see at least 1 or 2 more. Yeah.
And so these, when you say treatment courts, like what does that actually mean? Like, do people just come after they've been convicted of something and then they have to do something specifically, or what exactly does that mean?
Right. So it depends on the court. Drug treatment court, of course, involves drugs. DUI involves driving under the influence, and mental health, persons that committed a criminal offense when they were mentally unwell.
Okay.
They are all voluntary. So you either plead guilty or you have been found guilty in the court. And if you wish to observe, to decide whether or not you want to be a part of the court, then, you observe for a certain period of time. Reports are ordered, and then a decision is made whether you are suitable and eligible. Okay. And so in those courts, of course, treatment. So treatment, you must receive treatment while you're in those courts. So it could be anything from mental health treatment, medication, treatment with drug addiction or alcohol addiction. And counseling. A lot of times counseling is involved because trauma is involved a lot as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. So those courts are kind of put in place to not necessarily allow people immediately go to jail, but allow to rehabilitate a bit quicker without being in the system, I assume. Yeah.
Alternatives to incarceration.
Got it. Yeah. And how successful has that been, would you say?
It is very successful. I wish I would have known that you were going to ask me this question, because I would have given you statistics, by the way. Ms. Keynes did not give me any questions.
Because I know my aunt, and she would have over-prepared for the podcast, and that is not what I wanted.
So I would have come with statistics.
Yes.
But yeah, it is
to be fair, that wouldn't have been on the list. I just thought about
it. They are successful courts. And also another thing that we do is the clients that are involved learn that they can trust us, and if they need, that we will always be there for them.
That's amazing.
Be it for food, be it for help with the home or counseling or anything. They're in a difficult situation, they need to talk it through. We try to give them tools to just be without us. Yeah.
It's amazing, because if you see someone, I've been with Maxie, your daughter, and so I'm like, you look like somebody I know, right? And they immediately like, you know Miss Anderson, right? And it's like, yes, that's my mama. I love her.
Oh gosh.
Right? They'll be like, I'm in her court, right? And you're not supposed to know people's business.
No.
Obviously, you're very confidential, so we would never know.
Yes, exactly.
And so literally, Max is just like, I don't think I'm supposed to know that, but thank you. Yeah. But it always warms your heart, because people like, she's so nice, she's so thoughtful. Yeah. She's very fair, and I think all of the clients in there always hear very, very good reports about that.
Well, I'm serious when I say, especially since 2016, I've been responsible for the mental health treatment court. Just recently, I've taken over the drug treatment court and the DUI treatment court. But with the mental health treatment court, because I've had them for so long, they are very dear to my heart. So when I find out, like, say that they play cricket, my husband and I will show up at a cricket game.
That's nice. That's nice.
If I find out they work somewhere, I try to show up there just to show support, to support the business and support them as well. Those type of things. Yeah,
absolutely. I think it's important as well. We're in a really small community. And you run into people regardless, right?
Yeah.
And so to see that additional support that you give, it's invaluable to, the people who come through those courts. I think that's amazing.
Because it could be any of us.
Could be any of us. I mean, the way that I had a stressful week, that could be me one day. You just never know, right?
Exactly.
So it just happens. So with you being the first, also congratulations. I know I've told you that before. The first female senior magistrate.
Thank you.
Why do you think it took so long? Not for you, but like for...
Well, firstly, let me say that was never my career aspiration, right? So for it to happen was like, wow, God, thank you. Like, wow, on top of doing what I've always wanted to do, like, you give me this as well. Like, it was really amazing.
Yeah.
So I do feel blessed and honored to be in this position. But I think it is, in a lot of things, still a male-dominated world. And basically that's the answer.
Yeah.
I think that's 100%. The answer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think in a lot of times you still hear first for a lot of things, right? The
still.
first in this and first in that. And I remember when you told us that you got the job, and then when it came out and it was like the first female, we were just all blown away. Number one, history maker, right? Yeah. So we love that. Yeah. But it also still blows my mind when you hear things like that in 2022, right?
It actually blew my mind because when it happened, I was like, wait, the first? That can't be right. But I am.
Yeah.
I am.
So coming up as a lawyer and different things like that, as a woman, because obviously hustle her, we talk about women, were there any like barriers that you felt like you kind of had to go through in order to succeed or to get promoted or anything like that as you were coming up?
Oh my goodness. Yes.
Short answer.
And you know, lots of them I cannot talk about because it's so obvious. But definitely yes. And then also being a mom, although I have a husband who's very hands-on with our daughter, certain things are still expected from the female parent. I remember our daughter was sick, Maxie. Maxie was sick. She was still very young. She was probably 2 or 3 years old. And we took her, Wayne and I would always go to the doctor together. We took her to the doctor. And the doctor said, she's going to have to be home like for like a week or something like that. And so Wayne was like, okay, I'll stay home with her. And the doctor looked at me and was like, no, you need to stay home with her.
Excuse me?
And I was like, what? Why I need to stay home with her? And he said, you're her mom. You know, you need to stay home with her. And I didn't question it at the time, but it kind of weighed on me because I'm like, well, just because I'm a female, why does she have to stay home with me? Like, I'm not a better parent, you know, because we were equal in this, right? And Maxie, to this day, I think her favorite parent is her dad, right? I mean, those two are tight,
yes,
right? So I was like, what? And that was just wrong.
Yeah.
It was, now thinking back, it was just wrong.
And to be fair, at that time, I don't know how Maxie would have been, but you can't say stuff like that in 2022. Yeah. Like, that's ground. You'd lose your job, practice, everything. There's just certain things like that
and
you
I
just can't
say.
And
they meant anything bad about it. I think it was that thinking that, you know, the mother would be the better parent, you know, for a sick child. But,
So that's a good segue kind of into the next. Like, sometimes, you know, we have these work-life balance kind of conversations, and I'm a firm believer, like, work-life balance is just like, I don't really think it kind of exists. Like, some things require more at certain times, so it depends. But how do you balance being a mom still, even though Max is 25, how do you balance being a mom, being a wife, and then you have a really big job, right? So you're a senior magistrate, you also have people report into you. How do you balance all of that?
So now when I look back at Maxie being young, I think I was beginning to say this somewhere else. You might have to keep me on track because I go off on these tangents, right? That's why I should have had the questions ahead of time.
Here we go.
I'm just saying. Now looking back at when Maxie was coming through Warwick Academy, because she went through Warwick Academy from the beginning to until she went to boarding school at 16. I don't know how I did it. I honestly don't know how I did it. Because I was in private practice, so I had to, you know, you had time sheets, you got to do a certain amount of hours, and I was clocking those hours. I was definitely clocking those hours. Maxie would still tell me today, remind me, of the sleeping bag and the pillow I had set up under my desk.
Really?
So that she can fall asleep under my desk, because I'll be leaving work 10, 11 o'clock at night. And I had a beautiful secretary when I was in private practice, Patsy. Shout out to Patsy. So Patsy, Maxie will come to the office. Patsy would take her across the street to Marketplace, get her dinner, do her homework with her, and then, you know, Patsy had to go home. So Patsy would leave, and then Maxie would just fall asleep under the desk. But I was on the PTA, like just about the entire time, from when she was in P2 until after she left Work Academy. And I did other things at the school. And I to this day, I don't know how I did it. I don't know where all the hours came from, because I still took her to dance. I still clocked all the hours that I had to do, for work, for work during the day. I still got my work done. I was always on top of my work. Now I don't know how I did it. I don't think I can do that again, because with my life how it is right now, I'm like, oh my goodness, I need to get the balance. I think my balance is off right now. It's like work. But
I think that's okay though, because this promotion just happened like a few months ago.
Yeah.
So I think in those beginning stages, it's okay to be work. And you have, your daughter's grown. Your husband also has a big job too.
Now.
He's grown too. And so, I think it's okay to dedicate that time in at this point.
But I think that we don't enjoy life as much as we can. And when I say we, I just don't mean my husband and I mean, like, most Bermudians don't, like, we have the water out there, we
don't take
advantage. I couldn't tell you the last time I went swimming in the ocean, right? Or to the beach, right? We don't get to enjoy our island as much as I see others enjoying our island.
Absolutely. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah. And I would like to enjoy the island more.
A lot more. No, I agree. I think it's one of the things we take it for granted as well. We were going to go on vacation earlier, and someone was like, we should just go down to like St. Lucia. And I'm just like, St. Lucia's beautiful, don't get me wrong. But I was like, I live on an island. Like, I didn't even think anything of it. I was like, not too fussed about it. Or even when we go to Jamaica. And then you just kind of think, and you're like, we have this literally in our backyard.
We do.
Like on the weekends, I mean, sorry to take up your Sunday, but like on the weekends, on Saturday, Sunday, we should really take more advantage of the beauty that we have around us. So I think
I remember growing up as a child, my granny had us every Sunday, the entire family, picnicking at Warwick Long Bay. Wow. Every Sunday religiously.
Really?
It was the family picnic. You knew what you were bringing. Yeah. And, we just chilled on the beach every Sunday for the day. And I couldn't tell you the last time I had a picnic. Or, like I said, went to the beach. And that's sad. That's very sad.
So how do you fix that, though? Like, what would you need to do to make that better?
Probably clone myself.
We're not there yet.
Clear myself.
Technology's not there yet.
Get two of me.
Yeah, there you
I
go.
remember going to a women's legal conference. This was some years ago. I went with Justice Sternum was there. I think Minister Kim Wilson, I think she attended. At the time, Diana Kemp was head of the International Bar Association, and this women's conference was put on by the International Bar Association. And I can't remember the speaker's name. What is her name? Anyway, she said that basically she needs a wife. And that's what I need.
You need a wife?
I need a wife to help me so that I can enjoy life more.
You need a wife
I need
to help
someone
you.
do all the cleaning, the washing, the cooking,
everything.
All of that. And then I could go out and
enjoy life. Yeah, so that's how that goes. No, I get it. So what would you say people misunderstand about you the most?
I don't know. I don't and don't get me wrong with this answer. I do care about what people think. Of course, I care about what people think, but I don't take the time to inquire about what people think. I don't read comments. I don't read blogs. Just with my line of work, I already have too much on my head. I can't take additional time to look or get too overwhelmed with what people think about me. I have a job to do. I've got to do my job, and that's it. So I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I think that's pretty much it, because if you're not inquiring about it, and someone might think you don't care,
right,
and that could just be a misunderstanding.
Yeah. There you go.
I summed that up nicely for you.
Thank you. But in you saying that, I've had a few people say to me, "Oh, you don't understand what it's like." So I've had a lawyer in front of me once tell me that because of where I'm sitting, I don't understand about domestic violence.
What makes you assume that?
Well, that's what I asked. What makes you think I've never been the victim of domestic violence? Because of my job, right? I've also had someone tell me that basically I don't understand, being pulled over by the police. I got pulled over by the police all the time.
Really?
And they say, "Good morning, Magistrate Anderson."
You're speeding.
We're just checking licenses. Okay, all right, your bike's license, you could go ahead. Or in my brand new car, "Good morning, Senior Magistrate." We're just making sure that the car licenses are up to date. Okay, all right, thank you. We see your license is up to date. You can go ahead. So I'm pulled over like everybody else, right? If I do something wrong, I'm held accountable the same as everyone else.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Do you think...
And I wouldn't want it any other way.
Absolutely.
I would not want it any other way.
To be fair, it's a little segue, but my aunt is very much a stickler for doing everything correctly. Okay, she doesn't take any shortcuts. She doesn't, nothing like that. So if we're going away, if we're coming back and you have something in your bag, every cent that we spent while we were away, she's writing it down on the customs form. Maxanne does not play when it comes to when she says she doesn't want it any other way, it is no other way in Aunt Maxanne's world at all.
So no one likes to travel with me.
That's a good thing, though. You can't be mad at it. You get a little irritated.
And in the car, I get, "You're going too slow." I'm like,
it's the speed limit.
It's the speed limit.
Yes, it's okay. But I mean, that's occupational hazard as well. You can't be caught doing things.
Exactly. I need to lead by example as well.
Absolutely,
right?
Absolutely. Yeah. So when you think of like inspiration and where you are now, who would you say is your biggest inspiration for you in your life?
My biggest inspiration has always been my grandparents, I think. Lucy and Earl. I still live as if they are here, and I just want to make them proud.
Auntie, they are proud of you.
And my mom.
Yeah, of course.
I love dearly. But everything I do, I don't want to, everything I do, I need to know that it's something that they would be proud of.
Yeah. Now you're making us cry on the podcast today. And
I didn't want to break up.
Put it to the side. Yeah. I think
but also know as well, my daughter, right? Because I have a daughter who's watching me. And from young, especially when she went away to school, to boarding school, I would always just drop a text, WWJD. What would Jesus do? because I wasn't there to make sure that she was fine and she was doing things as she should do, right? So, yeah. WWJD.
What would Jesus do?
What would Jesus
One thing
do?
I can say very confidently is Maxanne J. Keynes II is very proud of you. I think, you are her ultimate Shira. Like when she talks about her mom, she beams. You are she calls herself, she calls you OG Maxanne and she's little Max. And I think she couldn't be any more proud of you than she is. 100%. I say that confidently without any reservation or hesitation. You're a living, breathing hero that she looks up to every single day. And so I think that's one you could check off the list. I can't speak for Mama Lucy and Papa Earl, but that one I definitely can speak for. So I think that's important. And so when we talk about inspiration and people that you love and that you care about and it's your life. So would you say those same things motivate you to continue to strive to reach new heights and get promoted in your career?
Well, like I said earlier, I think we all have something to do on this earth, right? And we should be I'm in Bermuda, so it's my goal to make Bermuda a better place. And that should be all of our aim in whatever we do, whatever little pocket we are in, whatever our job is.
Yeah.
Just to make Bermuda a better place for our kids, for our nieces, nephews, even for our parents, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Just to make the world just a better place. I know that sounds so cliche, right? But that's what I was raised.
Yeah.
That's what my grandparents taught me.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's also important to kind of look at it that way. So sometimes when you're looking at the bigger picture in life and you're not just doing something just for the paycheck, which is nice, don't get me wrong, but you truly love what you do and you want to make the world a better place or Bermuda a better place, you're invested more. And I think that's more important in your role in particular than anything else.
Yeah.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so when you think of like inspiration, motivation, all of that, are you ever fearful? Do you get afraid of things? And like, how do you kind of deal with that? I mean, in like work and life, that type of stuff.
Well, every day I'm afraid because every day I have to make decisions about people's lives, right? So my prayer every morning is, Lord, please be with me today. Please allow me to make the right decisions.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm afraid every day, all day, because I want to make sure I'm making the right decision.
Yeah, yeah. And so when you say when they ask, how do you manage that fear, like outside of like praying in the mornings and stuff, like through the day, like how do you work through that? Because that's got to be big, right? Like you say you're in civil court, so that's obviously dealing with people's money. You're in criminal court, people doing things wrong. Yeah. In your disposal, not really disposal, but obviously within the law, you make decisions on what happens with people. Right. So how do you manage that type of fear?
So firstly, I try to treat everybody how I would like to be treated. So I try to give everybody respect, regardless why they're in front of me, right? And then after that, you got to listen to people. Yeah. You got to weigh both sides. If there's law involved, you got to look at the law, because justice must not just be done, but it must be seen to be done as well. And just be fair in my decision making. And so if I do all of that, I can go home and sleep at night.
Yeah. That's important to know, because sometimes people think judges can be like, just be mean or like not understanding. You said it earlier, lawyers would be like, well, how would you know? Or they just assume that you're in that position and you've never had hardships or anything like that. So being understanding and being fair, I think is really important. And I think you can kind of say you've been fair in life. Do you ever get like nervous when you do judgments and they put them in the paper and it's like senior magistrate?
I don't get nervous because, like I said, I've gone through all of that. Yeah. Right? I have to weigh up everything. I definitely take out the legislation, look through the legislation. Yeah. If someone has handed in precedents, I look at the precedents. So at the end of the day, the paper are going to write what they want to write regardless.
Yeah.
I can't control that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
And
good.
like I said, I don't look at comments. So.
Anyway, so it doesn't matter regardless on
Yeah.
that side. Perfect. So do you have any mentors or anyone that you kind of look up to professionally or anything like that?
Oh my goodness. I don't want to start naming names because
I don't want to forget anybody, but that's all right.
I don't want to forget anybody, but at the same time, I think it is extremely important to recognize people and to give people their flowers while you're able to, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I've had a lot of mentors along the way. I've been very fortunate of people who have taken time out of their life, their day, just to mentor me. I could go, I know this is not part of the question, but it's made me who I am up to today, right?
Absolutely.
So from primary school, I mean, my teachers in primary school at Purvis were phenomenal women. I'm not going to call names because I don't want to miss anybody out, but I must say, Mr. Dane, he was my last principal. And then I could always, after that, rely on Mr. Dane if I needed a reference. Up until when I first started full-time employment, Mr. Dane will always be my reference. I had a friend whose father was also, he would look out for me, and he'll always be a reference for me. That's Kenneth Richardson. He was the old cabinet secretary. He was a great mentor as well. And then in high school, I had a school counselor, Miss Nancy Matola. She was phenomenal. Another PE teacher who I'm sure she would say I was her best netball player. Elizabeth Adderley. She was awesome at Work Academy with us. And then going into the work arena at Appleby, I had Judith Simmons, who still remains very close and near and dear to me to this day. And then Claire Hatcher, when I finished my pupillage, I must name my pupillage mentors. Claire Hatcher took me under her wing, and Nadine Francis, Helen Forrest. Then when I was at Appleby, which was back in the day, Appleby, Sperling, and Kemp, because that's some time ago. Arabella Diorio, Calvin Hastings Smith, John Rhea Loomer.
So a lot of people.
Hold on. And then when I came into government, Bill Francis, he was awesome. Awesome to me, Bill Francis. And then being over at Magistrate's Court, now Justice One Wolf.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
that's good. You named a lot of people, and I love that, because sometimes people, when you ask them about mentors, it's just one or two people, but I feel like mentorship evolves, right?
It
so
does.
Depending on what you need.
Absolutely.
Throughout your life.
Yes.
So I think it's an excellent example of that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
For sure. So how important is it to have a supportive group of female friends for you?
It's very important. Very important. I do have male friends who are very close.
Yes.
One of them is Max's godfather, who was like a second father to Maxie. But, my female friends, and they also go back. We joke about no new friends sometimes, right?
Yeah.
But it's kind of true. I mean, I have nothing against new friends. I love new friends.
Yeah.
But I have my old friends that have always been there for me. I'm not going to name names once again. But
you said that about the mentors, and you did it anyway. That's funny. It's okay.
And it's taking everything in me not to name everybody, right?
It's okay.
But and so I have a group from Work Academy. We're still very close, very close. My year group from Work Academy. It's about, I don't know, it's up to about 8 of us. We get together every now and then. That's very important to me, because they were with me, 12 to like 17. That's when you're really
formative years, for sure.
Yeah, right?
Adolescence, going crazy, all that.
I have my Purvis friends still, right?
Wow.
I have my friends still from Devonshire Seventh-day Adventist Church, right? Still, Pathfinders. I still have, it could go on and on. It's very important. Yeah. Even my Hamilton now as an adult, you know, is a group of us from Hamilton Church, right? And I value, love, and cherish every last one of those groups. And we support each other, and it's important. Not only does it take a village to raise a child, but it takes a village. It just takes a village, period. Even as an adult, we still need that village.
Absolutely.
We still need that village.
And, you know, we have a pretty close family as well. And so when you look at that, obviously I've always looked up to you, except for when you first got married to my uncle.
You hated me, okay?
For about a little while. Not a long time, just a little while. I had
patience because you needed to be clapped upside the head.
Just a little while, you know, it's just stealing my uncle away from me, and I just wasn't feeling it. But, you know, I love her to pieces now. But so no, always looked up. And so that's definitely something. And I think having that close knit, you know, things, people you can call on.
Absolutely.
You know, Maxanne and I were talking about it. Actually, when we were all away with Daisha and Dory, we were talking about the reach that we have in our family, just like our immediate family. Like you can reach out to someone, whoever it is, and just kind of ask a question or whatever that is.
Or make a phone call. Everybody drops everything and comes.
Go, right? And it doesn't matter what it is, you know, hospital, somebody we need to, you know, have a conversation with, whatever that's like, that level of support is important.
Yeah. And everybody we need that in our life. Yeah, right?
Absolutely.
We need that. I once had in a mother say to me in court, and it was the saddest thing, like this is one of the saddest things I've ever heard, that she does not believe in the village.
Wow.
And I felt so bad for her because like the village made me. Yeah. The village maintained me, right? And if you didn't believe in a village, like I made sure to put a village around my child. My child still has that village. You're part of her village, right?
Absolutely.
That village involves not only aunts, uncles, grandparents, but pastors, right? Cousins, everybody, right?
And it's also important. I don't think I've ever told you this, but obviously when my mom was in school, my dad was living in New York, and I lived here in Bermuda for a while. And I've never said thinking, I'm actually getting a little emotional, and Uncle Wayne, you took me every other weekend, and you didn't have to do that, you know? And it was a time I'm really grateful for that. I think that's where our relationship, you know, we bonded, and Max's fish died, and we told her that it went to the vet, you know,
and came back a different color.
You know, I had to say that because I can't keep crying. But so you know, I thank you for that, and I've never said that before, but those things I will never forget.
I do it all over again for you, Shakespeare.
I always remember that, and I know my parents are very grateful. And, you know, I will always remember that from you guys used to have the white car before you got the goat one.
Oh, my goodness, I remember
that. And so, no, I'm genuinely grateful for you welcoming me into your family at that time. And I appreciate that.
And same here, because you had to open your heart and welcome me in.
It was a little tougher.
Took a while. I knew I'd get you one day. I knew I'd get you.
Maxie helped her. She's a little sweetie. All right, so what would be some advice you would give a young woman coming up, lawyer? What's some advice you would give her from some of the things you've learned?
I don't know, just be yourself, right? Work hard. You're not always going to get what you think you deserve, but I'm one that also believes that what is yours will be yours. And no one can take that from you. So it's just not your time. So just keep on working hard, be yourself, and help others. Always help others.
Absolutely. No, I appreciate that. I think that's always good to remember. So I know you're going to be mad, but I have one question that I ask every guest when they leave the podcast. And it is, what do you want to be remembered for? Don't worry. Don't have to stress. We can take some time to think about it.
What do I want to be remembered for? Probably for being loving and for being fair. Yeah.
I know. That was easy, see?
Yeah. I think that's it. I think it's important, the being fair, you know, in my job. I think that's important. And just as a normal human being, I think being loving is something that everyone should see in us. Love, right?
Yeah.
Love is important.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Well, your worshipful senior magistrate, Maxanne J. Anderson. I just want to thank you so much for coming on the podcast today. I know we've been trying to do this for a while.
I know. I've been avoiding you for a couple of years now.
But I got you down.
You got
so
me.
We're good to
got
go.
Me.
I'm happy now. And definitely you definitely are someone I look up to, and for you being the first senior magistrate, it's definitely you made history. You know, you're now in the history books, a part of Bermuda history, and I think that that's really important. So I want to again say congratulations for that.
Thank you, sweetie.
So I always ask my guests, essentially, if anyone wants to get in contact with you, if they want to reach out, what's the best way for them to do that? Should they reach out to you on Instagram? Or
no, only because I have people sometimes trying to reach out to me about court matters, and I cannot communicate about anything to do with the courts. But young people, I do not mind young people contacting me if they are interested in law or interested in the goings on of the court and would like to observe. And they can just email or they could call Magistrate's Court and maybe ask to speak with my assistant and who will get me their information.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, guys. So thanks again for joining us here today on House of Heart Podcast. I just want to thank Maxanne Anderson, my beautiful aunt, for joining me today. Just so all guys, we want to remember is make sure you go on the website, www.hustleheartpodcast.com. We'll get some additional show notes. You can read your worshipfuls, Maxanne J. Anderson. I don't know if I'll ever get tired of saying that. Keynes' full bio on there. We'll also do some quick behind the scenes on the website as well. And then you can also sign up to start to get our episodes earlier than everyone else. Make sure you hit subscribe. Make sure you like and you share the podcast here today. And if you have any questions, you can always reach out to me on any of the socials, on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. We're on all of those on Hustle Heart Podcast. Thanks for joining us today for another episode of Hustle Heart Podcast.